Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. Before we get into the video, I want to thank you for the incredible support as we edge closer to 100,000 subscribers. When I reach that milestone, I will be making a very special video, so please be sure to hit that subscribe button and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted every time I post a new video. But enough jibber jabber, let's get into the news. Lucasfilm keep teasing the possibility that Qi'ra is going to be making her live action return in the Book of Boba Fett. As we saw a few months ago, she was reintroduced in the War of the Bounty Hunters Marvel comics, which Charles Soule specified was going to tie into the Book of Boba. The comics, which take place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, are setting up Boba Fett's personal journey and interactions before falling into the Sarlacc pit. During the Book of Boba Fett timeline, when he returns to the dark underworld of the galaxy, those people who played a big role in his past will undoubtedly be out to get him, or vice versa. Now that we know just how important Qi'ra is leading up to the post-Return of the Jedi world, we speculated that Emilia Clarke could be back this December as one of the leading adversaries for Boba. Well, it turns out, my dear friends, that Star Wars have now doubled down on setting up her live-action return, because we just got a huge announcement. A new comic series called Crimson Reign is going to focus on Qi'ra after her appearance in Solo, a Star Wars story. According to IGN, these comics are going to reshape the history of the Star Wars galaxy during the Age of the Rebellion. What's particularly of interest for us Boba Fett fans is that Charles Soule has confirmed that this comic series, Crimson Reign, is going to continue beyond Return of the Jedi. This means there will be overlap with the Mandalorian timeline, strongly suggesting that she might be a central enemy to Boba in the Book of Boba Fett. In War of the Bounty Hunters, Qi'ra stole Han Solo in carbonite from Boba on his way to Jabba's palace. This of course is what led to their paths crossing and also set up a potential long-lasting rivalry. The new series Crimson Reign will reveal to us what became of Qi'ra and also works as a crossover for the War of the Bounty Hunters. This limited series will debut in November of 2021 according to IGN and will consist of 5 issues. All of them are going to be written by Charles Soule, a veteran Star Wars author who's not only worked on a ton of Star Wars comics but is one of the key writers for the High Republic. But going back to the comic, the fact that it's being released 1 month before the Book of Boba Fett tells me that there is going to be direct continuity of the comic in the live action series. Why else would Lucasfilm make a big deal about Qi'ra's return and have her interact with Boba Fett so close to the release of the Disney Plus series? Now, Charles Soule had a bit to say about this, and the way he talks about his upcoming comic and the importance of it is further evidence of a tie-in to the Book of Boba, and he says the following: while Qi'ra plays a huge part in War of the Bounty Hunters, that event is really a Boba Fett story. I have a bigger story I'm going to tell with Qi'ra and Crimson Dawn, and it's all connected to the reason she kicked things off in War of the Bounty Hunters in the first place. You'll learn more about that in the closing pages of War of the Bounty Hunters number 5 in October, and I think fans have no idea how exciting and new this story is going to feel. So as you can see guys, he's hinting at something bigger. The fact that he says fans have no idea how exciting this is probably because we're going to be getting a big surprise cameo this December, and it's going to connect the two pieces of media together really nicely. After all, he did say this is really a Boba Fett story. Speaking to IGN, Soule also hinted at what fans can expect from Crimson Reign more generally. It's a story that's going to focus on Crimson Dawn and Qi'ra, who fans will recognize from Solo, a Star Wars story. And Charles Soule says the following: I plan to tell the story we're seeing in War of the Bounty Hunters from the very first pitches I wrote when I knew I'd be taking over the Star Wars title for Marvel, but it was really when I knew I had a secret weapon to deploy story-wise that the seeds of Crimson Reign began to take root in my mind. Qi'ra, the former paramour of Han Solo and current leader of Crimson Dawn. He goes on to say, from the moment I took the gig writing Star Wars, I wanted to do new things in the Star Wars timeline between episodes 5 and 6, using new characters from all eras of the galaxy far, far away. Crimson Reign, which continues what I plan as a trilogy that began with War of the Bounty Hunters, is a great example of how I like to write Star Wars stories. Everything and everyone is fair game, and I think people are really going to enjoy it. And he finishes by saying, await the reign. Star Wars Crimson Reign's art is done by Steve Cummings, who will also be doing a variant cover for the first issue. The main cover is from Lainil Francis Yu, and the connecting variant cover comes from Ario Anindito. Now, whenever I've brought up Marvel Comics, or rather Star Wars Marvel Comics in the past, I'm very aware that a lot of people are not a fan. And I've seen a lot of people complain about Luke Skywalker's lightsaber between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, which is yellow, and a lot of people don't like the fact that Admiral Holdo is having a big part in Leia and Han Solo's story.
Are you serious?
But personally, I don't share those opinions because I've really enjoyed War of the Bounty Hunters and the crossover event. And as such, I'm really hyped for this one. So all in all, we might be in for a very good comic in November, and then in December, we might be in for a huge cameo in the Book of Boba Fett. If not, then maybe they'll continue Qi'ra's story in a solo sequel or in a different project someday. We just have to wait and see. I'm very aware of the fact that there are many fans who really want a solo sequel, and I would be very interested to see what Lucasfilm could do if a second movie does make itself manifest. There have been rumours, but nothing concrete. So going back to the Book of Boba, we've basically had no plot details, so we're all going in blind, which in my opinion is the best way to enjoy Star Wars, to not have specific expectations and to be pleasantly surprised if we do get some big cameos, Easter eggs and callbacks to other parts of the Star Wars universe. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And finally, we're going to be talking about the Ahsoka series. Recently, I reported on the leak that Sabine Wren is currently being cast for Star Wars Ahsoka. TEASE, who's the voice actress for Sabine in Rebels, has reacted to fans who urge her to be cast as the live-action role. Evidently, she's beloved by the fandom, she's an amazing person, and in many fans' minds, she's the only logical choice for the live-action version of Sabine Wren. After all, Sabine's voice is 70% of the role. She's an iconic and largely underrated character in Rebels, so let's see what this article has to say. Star Wars Rebels actor reacts to Sabine Wren live-action fan casting. Star Wars Ahsoka featuring Rosario Dawson, Lars Mikkelsen and Mena Massoud is going to be a spin-off of The Mandalorian. It's basically going to work as a Star Wars Rebels sequel, but in live action. Thrawn was the main antagonist of seasons 3 and 4 of Rebels. In that series, Sabine Wren is an artistic Mandalorian warrior who adventures with Kanan Jarrus, Ezra Bridger and the rest of the Ghost crew, who all had a couple of run-ins with Ahsoka. In the Rebels finale, Ezra calls upon a group of hyperspace traveling Purgils to engulf Thrawn's Star Destroyer, sending the Empire's 7th Fleet aimlessly into space with the hero still aboard. The epilogue taking place after episode 6 saw Sabine join Ahsoka to search for Ezra, whose fate is tied directly in with Thrawn. Dave Filoni has hinted that the epilogue takes place after Ahsoka's appearance in chapter 13, and of course they're talking about The Mandalorian, and now Ahsoka is reported to cast an actress to portray Sabine in live action. TEASE recently took to Twitter reacting to fans who have rallied behind a live action Sabine reprisal in the Ahsoka series. The actress thanked fans for the memes, tweets and hashtags calling for Saka's casting. And this is the tweet. "You guys are honestly the best. Just wanted to pop on here to tell you I've seen all your tweets and memes and hashtags and calls for petitions, and you really know how to make a girl feel loved. Thanks friends, love you right back. I would love if TEASE reprised the role, but I'm not even sure if she wants to reprise it or if she will. Sabine will be the 5th Star Wars character to jump from animation to live action, joining Saw Gerrera and Chopper from Rogue One, Ahsoka and Bo-Katan in The Mandalorian, and it's also rumoured that Hera Syndulla from Rebels and The Bad Batch, as well as Omega from The Bad Batch, will also make their way at some point into the live action universe. When it comes to adapting animated characters to live action, voice actors are only typically chosen if their physical appearance is faithful to the character's depiction. In TEASE's case, this would definitely work. But who knows, she may have already been approached by Lucasfilm. But that, my friends, brings us to the end of this news update. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you make of everything we spoke about? If you guys enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new and a huge welcome if you are. And also be sure to check out my Patreon. The link is in the description down below. And on Patreon, you get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube. But otherwise, my dear Megalorians, this is where we part ways. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. May the Force be with you, always.